I hope you've enjoyed some breakfast. Feel free to get up as you'd like to get seconds. We have a wonderful buffet out in the lobby. If I haven't had a chance to introduce myself and to meet you, my name is Tricia Seifert, and I'm Dean of the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. And I'm so glad that you took a moment out of your busy day to come and join us for what we're referring to as the Future's So Bright, We Gotta Wear Shades edition of the Scholarship Breakfast. It's not every year, obviously, that the Scholarship Breakfast falls on the same day as an eclipse. And so the moment that Becky Stanton, who is our wonderful coordinator and events coordinator for this event, she said, you know, it's the same morning, and we should probably really embrace that. And I said, oh, we absolutely must. So we'll have some eclipse glasses. I guarantee you we'll be done so that you can file out and enjoy the eclipse right outside here to close out our day. Because truly, the future's so bright, we gotta wear shades. And if you're of a certain age, you remember the song for which that line goes with. And I say that quite seriously because this past year, as we're moving into this academic year, nearly $250,000 in scholarship money was given to students who are from across the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. Nearly 200 students received nearly $250,000 in scholarship funds. And so the future really is just that bright. And I have a hunch that in next year when we're back, we're going to have 200 students, not nearly, but 200 students receiving not nearly $250,000, but actually $250,000. And so I want to really thank students who are scholars and donors and friends of the college who have so generously given because they see the brightness of this future and they want to be a part of it. And I would love to share with you a story of one of our own MSU graduates who is now part of helping friends and donors envision how their gifts can make a difference in students' lives because she has a story of her own to share. And with that, I'd love to bring up Dr. Chelsea Wilson to share a little bit from the MSU Alumni Foundation.
Thank you, Dean Seifert. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. So my name is Chelsea Wilson, and I work at the Montana State University Alumni Foundation as Director of Development. And I am a very proud 3-time alum of Montana State University, so I earned my undergraduate, master's, and doctorate from MSU. And Dean Seifert asked me to share my story with you. And she said, about 8 minutes. I hope to not make it quite that long. I'll make it quick. But I grew up in Columbia Falls, Montana, up north. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Columbia Falls. And I am a first-generation college student. So neither my mom nor my dad went to college. And they didn't have to because they did okay. My dad is a chef, and my mom was a special education paraeducator. So when it became time for me to start talking about college with my mom and dad, they didn't really understand why I wanted to go to college, and they certainly couldn't help me pay for my experience at Montana State. Well, I enrolled at MSU, and I remember move-in day like it was yesterday. It was 16 years ago. They dropped me off in Roski Hall. I drove down, they followed me, and they gave me a gift card to Subway, $25. That's what they could do. This was monumental to them. And they said goodbye and good luck. I kid you not, I remember, I was thinking about this story on the way here today. I remember a single tear rolling down my face. And I got up and I said, okay, Chelsea, time to go get a job. You gotta pay for this somehow. So I got in my car and I drove down 11th Street. I took a left on Main. I saw Wendy's and I thought, no. I saw Subway and I thought, no, but good to know for my gift card. I saw McDonald's, I said no. And I saw a place called the Hideaway Lounge, and I thought, I wonder what that is. Some of you know what the Hideaway Lounge is. It's a bar. I had just turned 18. I walked into the Hideaway Lounge, and I said, are y'all hiring? This is when you went out and knocked on doors, right? And the guy at the front said, no, we're not hiring. I said, okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your time. And I turned around to walk out, and a woman shouted at me, and she said, are you looking for a job? And I said, I am. And she said, when can you start? And I said, right now. And I worked my first shift at the Hideaway Lounge then. I think I made 60, 70 bucks in cash. This was in the year 2007. And I thought, this is it. This is how I'm going to pay for my college degree. And 4 years later, I graduated from Montana State University. Now, every semester, I walked to Montana Hall, to the basement, with my wad of cash, and I paid my tuition. And I went on, as Dean Seifert alluded to get my master's and my doctorate from Montana State. So I share this story with you for two reasons, okay? One, unfortunately, my story is not unique. It just isn't, and I want everyone in this room to know that and to believe that. There are hundreds of MSU students who are literally nickel and diming their way to checkout. They are experiencing the same thing that I experienced. But a lot of us don't know that. We don't know what other people are experiencing. And two, MSU has come a long way in the last 15 years. And I think we celebrate philanthropy, point proven today, more than we have in the past. So when I was in college, I walked down to the financial aid office and I asked if there were any scholarships. And they handed me a binder. And I flipped through the binder, all 10 pages of it. That was it. For the entire university, for every student at Montana State, there were 10 scholarships that students could apply for. And I didn't qualify for any of them, but the landscape today has changed. And I think while it's come a long way, we still have a lot of work to do. I was in Houston last week for work. I was meeting with alumni and donors out in the Houston area. And this gentleman said to me, he said, Chelsea, when I went to MSU, I paid $10,000 all in. Room and board, tuition, 4 years. This was in the 70s. And he said, when I graduated as an engineer, I made nearly double that, $20,000 was my starting salary. Today, in-state residents at Montana State pay $100,000 all in, and our out-of-state students pay double, $200,000. Now this includes room and board, right? So their living expenses. The national average starting salary for college students across the nation, $55,000. This demonstrates and magnifies the importance of private support and philanthropy. So thank you to all of you in the room who contribute in that way. So I think it's safe to say that investing in college students is one of the best investments that you all can make, because not only are you helping someone achieve their goal of graduating college, but you're sitting with students today who are going to go out and be educators, administrators, dietitians, counselors, leaders, change makers, and they're going to give back to their communities and to their states and to our nation. So while you might be influencing these students directly, I hope that you understand the greater impact that you're all making across the state. So Dean Seifert asked me to share a little bit about the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. More than $250,000 will be awarded this year to nearly 200 students, which is outstanding. And I think beyond that, there's also some opportunity. She has a Dean's Excellence Fund, and a lot of you contribute to that. And that's program support for students and faculty and staff for professional development opportunities, study abroad. During my time at MSU, I had 3 faculty-led study abroad trips during my master's and doctorate, and thanks to the Dean's Excellence Fund, I was able to go abroad for the first time in my life during that time. So I'll leave it with a call to action. There's always a call to action. So I think today we want to celebrate all of you, the students, the alumni, the donors, faculty, and staff that are here. Thank you for giving your time. I think we all can agree time is the most valuable thing that you can give. So thank you for being here. I know several of you drove across the state today to be here with these students. Thank you for giving your treasure. You can choose to invest what you've earned anywhere, and you're choosing to invest it here. So thank you. The call to action, and this goes to everyone, not just donors in the room, students too, faculty, staff, is I want you to think about your ties. So who do you know that we should be talking to, that maybe we're not talking to, Who do you know that might wish to make an impact the same way you do? And then I want you to think about your testimony. Why do you choose to give? Share that story. And students, share your story of what earning a scholarship did for you and for your time at Montana State. Because when we all do that, share our ties and our testimony, what we see today will magnify, and next year we absolutely will award more than 200 scholarships. So thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea. The College of Education, Health, and Human Development, when I was able to share, it is a broad college. We educate people to become teachers, to be school leaders and superintendents and principals. We educate people to become counselors, mental health counselors, addiction counselors, school counselors, marriage and family counselors. We educate people to work in human development and family science, in that family consumer science area, in early childhood education, in community health. We educate dietitians and nutritionists. We educate exercise scientists and kinesiologists. We educate people for the very large and growing industry of hospitality management, farm to table and lodging and facilities in this state that just keeps rising in terms of its growth. We educate people in the sustainable food systems so that where your food comes from, you actually have a connection to that place. We do all of this and so much more with your help, and these students are the beneficiaries of both that education and your gifts. And in the last year, we have not sat on our laurels. I just want to give a couple highlights, and one of those is really in terms of growing our outreach into rural Montana and providing high-quality teacher candidates who are student teachers, who are in their practicum experience, who are actually in their very first semester and they're doing a book club or an after-school project. And so in this room today is Dr. Jane Downey. And Jane, I just really want to thank you for your vision in seeing how does Montana State, in our land-grant mission, realize our outreach into rural Montana. And Joe Hicks, who's out there and might have checked you in as a student, has been so inspirational and at the very center of so much of that work. Dr. Tina Versland is not with us today, but is a strong donor and supporter and faculty member in providing these rural pathways for both pre-service teachers and for school leaders to see how they can contribute and meet the needs of Montana's schools. We send students abroad, and sometimes for the very first time, and have to help them figure out how to get a passport. And so last year we had a group of students go and study abroad during their spring break to Belize. And this coming year we have a faculty-led study abroad to Italy. What a great place to learn, particularly about history and art and culture, and how to bring that back and into a classroom, into a community, in working with families. So much of your support actually goes to emergency scholarships. Students who are food insecure and who say, particularly with the rising cost of food, who come and they ask, is there any additional food support? And we're able to provide emergency scholarships in that way. We also, sometimes life happens, and a student who was in the midst of their practicum experience last spring, his car broke down, and it meant without that emergency scholarship, he would have foregone the rest of his practicum experience because he wouldn't have been able to get there. It was over in Livingston. You need to be able to drive back and forth. And so our emergency scholarship funds support students in real need so that they can continue with their good work. And the Dean's Excellence Fund allows someone like me to be able to support students like Chidima Ifa, who is a master's student in our Sustainable Foods program and in the Food Product Development Lab. And she came and she said, Dr. Seifert, I won the American Heritage Chocolate Grant that's offered by the Mars Foundation, which is so awesome. First year master's student winning this National Foundation Grant Award. She's like, and they'd like me to be present to receive the award. but I don't have any money to get to Virginia. But the Dean's Excellence Fund does. And so this kind of support, and allows someone like myself to say, I can buy your plane ticket, I can make sure you have a hotel room, you should be there to get the big check. And we have great photos of her receiving that big check. That's the kind of thing that's going on literally every day in the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. And sometimes they're really splashy, and sometimes our updates and highlights are kind of boring. And I'll share with you a boring highlight that's going to make a huge difference in students being able to find us and find the program that speaks to them. Reorganization of college and university departments and programs, it's pretty much of a yawn most of the time. But when you go to a website and you find something that's called Health and Human Development as a department, as a prospective student, it can be hard to find your place. Like, you're interested in counseling, but where do you find that? Now, you can find the Department of Counseling in one single place because it makes sense that it's its own department. And last year, our Department of Counseling received high honors from the CAPREP National Accreditation Body. Similarly, students who are interested in exercise science, kinesiology, food systems, and nutrition, they can find their home in the department we lovingly call PhysNIC, Food Systems, Nutrition, and Kinesiology. And last year, the Nutrition and Dietetics program received, and I'll never forget it because the site visit accreditor said, this is arguably the best self-study report I've ever read. And I've been doing this for years. And our Nutrition and Dietetics program were accredited by the Ascend National Association for 7 more years. And then our third new department is in Human Development and Community Health. And so if you're looking at and interested in the breadth of how humans work in communities and in individuals and families in communities, look no further. Now we have a department that is easy to find. And like I said, these are highlights that sound a little boring because they're all organizational stuff. But when students and their families want to find the right fit, having the right name matters. It's easier to find your place. And so those are some of the highlights of the college, across the college, from students to programs to faculty. And with that, I'd like to bring up our new department head in Food Systems, Nutrition, and Kinesiology, Dr. Dawn Tarabocha.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I want to say that I am thankful for the opportunity to be here this morning to share with you some of the highlights of the Food Systems, Nutrition, and Kinesiology department. I would like to take a moment to share with you the programs that are a part of this new department. We have undergraduate programs in food and nutrition, sustainable food and bioenergy systems, hospitality management, kinesiology, and health enhancement. We have master's programs in exercise and nutrition sciences and sustainable food systems. We have our PhD program that's in its 3rd year. It's just started its 3rd year. I had to think about my PhD students for a second, like what year are they in exercise and nutrition sciences. And we also have research initiatives within our department, including the Buffalo Nation Food Systems Initiative, which is a collaborative project with the Department of Native American Studies and our college. We also have research initiatives with Teen Nutrition and the Montana Pollution Prevention Program. So as you can see, we're a great department with a lot of fun things that are going on, and I get the opportunity to share some of those with you today. So first I want to say that student scholarships provide the opportunity for our students to expand and enhance their education through their ability to, as our dean says, learn by doing. Okay, in the Department of PhysNIC, as we call it, our graduate students are working on a variety of research projects, and often these research projects include our undergraduate students. And so this provides us the opportunity to create a collaborative learning environment where our graduate students are getting the chance to lead on their research projects, and undergraduate students are getting those hands-on experiences of how to do research. So I want to share with you quickly a few of our research projects that are going on in our department. So we are currently looking at strength training practices and neuromuscular control. We are doing randomized clinical trials to determine the impact of diet and physical activity on metabolic health and inflammation and the development of cardiovascular disease. We are looking at physiological testing in biathletes. And as a matter of fact, this summer, Dr. Becker got to take, I believe it was one graduate student and 2 undergraduate students to the U.S. Olympic Center in New York. And they did all of these physiological tests on the U.S. Olympic biathlon team and their development team. And it's my understanding that they are now coming back to Montana for their next round of testing. So this great opportunity where our students got to go and do research, and now we're bringing those individuals to our beautiful state of Montana. We are looking at some new research, is looking at muscle quality in alpine skiers, athletes, and older adults. We are looking at exercise adherence. We are looking at the influence of family on children's food behaviors and some of the supports and barriers to rural nutrition practices. We are looking at community-based research to understand factors influencing health and obesity prevention. We are looking at food insecurity, which was just brought up within our own student population, and we're looking at food waste. We are also, as Dean Seifert said, doing a lot of work in our food product development lab. And this lab focuses on projects for food science, for indigenous food sovereignty, as well as novelty crop innovations. Okay. In addition to all of this undergraduate research and graduate research opportunities where our students are working together to study these impacts, many of our students do this work here in Montana. So in some cases, they're going out to communities and they're giving back through this research process. The other thing that we do in our department is most of our undergraduate programs require an internship. So our students are going out and getting those practical experiences that they're taking the lessons from the classroom and taking it into our communities, and they're building relationships with our community members. We have students interning in our local hotels and restaurants. We have them interning at Town's Harvest Garden. They're working as personal trainers and with physical therapists and occupational therapists. One of our professors, Dr. Kari Orendorf, she created a home practicum, homeschool practicum class, where students who are homeschooled come to the MSU campus, and our health enhancement students teach a physical education class. So they're doing all of those things throughout the semester. We have coaching placements throughout Gallatin County where our students are getting to work with football, volleyball, basketball, you name it. They're probably in either one of our middle schools or one of our high schools. We have started new collaborations with our athletic department. So over the last year or so, we now have students who are getting internships with the athletic training program, with strength and conditioning, and with sport nutrition. And through, as I mentioned previously, our Buffalo Nation's Food Systems Initiative, we have students who are learning about some of the traditional harvesting of the buffalo and the growing of crops through seed sourcing. For our students in the Montana Dietetic Internship Program, scholarships help them to complete their coursework and to do internships, rotations throughout the state of Montana. Okay, so these are all of the things that scholarships provide our students, because it provides them the opportunity to take on these different things that contribute to their education that are outside of the classroom. Okay. So Benjamin Franklin is credited with saying, the investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Our students are learning by doing. and as such are contributing to our programs, they're contributing to our college, our university, and our communities. Through the opportunities provided to them from scholarships, students have more opportunity to engage in learning opportunities outside of the classroom and to work within our communities. This is the land-grant mission. This is Montana State University. And this happens because of the donations that we get for scholarships for our students. So thank you very much.
That's going to be a hard act to follow. Thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Sarah Pennington, and I'm the department head for the Department of Education here at Montana State University. And Dean Seifert did such a great job talking about highlights that she took half of my speech. We'll talk about that later. But seriously, I want to start out by just telling a little bit about myself. I grew up in the Appalachian Mountains of Virginia. I was a first-generation college student, and had it not been for scholarships, I would have not been able to get my bachelor's degree, and you would not see a PhD standing in front of you today. So donors make such a difference. I remember sitting at breakfast with one of my scholarship donors as an undergraduate, and to this day, that face is still in my head when I do something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I could share it with them. They will always be a part of my journey. So students, take advantage of this opportunity to chat with your donor, because they are a stepping stone that has helped you to achieve your goals. And you don't even know how far you're going to go yet, but they're going to be a part of what propelled you. So in the College of Education, Health, and Human Development, as we said, we learn by doing, and education, that is so vital as we are sending our students into classrooms and schools, not just across the state of Montana, but around the world. And so I want to highlight both near and far. So Dr. Seifert already talked about our Rural Pathways program. I had the privilege of visiting last spring with our first rural student teaching pod, which was in the Shelby Cut Bank area. And those students and the community that had embraced them was just inspirational to experience. Having a group with you that were all experiencing the same thing during that very stressful student teaching semester in a rural area meant so much to them. The group themselves really gelled, and the teachers and the administrators that were working with them were really going above and beyond to provide support to make them see that this could be a place for them. That rural does not mean off alone adrift. Rural means part of a community that will hug you like a nice warm sweater. And I think that that is so valuable and so exciting. We also have been very fortunate to provide our student teachers with opportunities to student teach overseas. So there's our FAR. So this semester we have students doing their student teaching in Costa Rica, Italy, and New Zealand. And next semester we will have students in Germany and Italy for student teaching, in addition to a spring break study abroad trip in Italy, which I am one of the co-leaders of. So I'd be happy to chat about that. Very excited to go to visit the home of Maria Montessori. If you know anything about Montessori education, that's part of our trip, is to learn about the roots of that. I'm also really excited that our Inclusive Community Camp is going to be featured in the fall issue of Mountains and Minds. And Inclusive Community Camp is a part of our Master of Arts in Teaching program. And it's a one-week intensive field experience during the summer where all of our MAT students come in and they get to work one-on-one with a student from the local area. These students may or may not have special needs. Many of them do. And for many of these students, it is the children, it's the first time they've been able to go to a camp. Because of their needs, they haven't had access to what many of us think is just a rite of passage for summer, a summer camp. And so our students get the experience of working with these students, of providing them with an amazing experience they wouldn't have had otherwise, and of applying their skills as new teachers in that new setting. And camp is so great because it is so flexible. It's not constrained by the four walls of a classroom. We have students out by the duck pond. We have opportunities for them to go and explore the resources we have on campus, museums, the library, and what I love is that we can really shape that experience to each kiddo's interests. And that is something that you can take so far as a teacher when you see what's possible with one kid and choice, and then expand that to 20 kids and choice and the passion and excitement and the learning that will happen there. So I'm not going to provide nearly as many updates, but I wanted to provide some that really speak to my heart. Donors, thank you. Students, thank you. Education students in particular, you're entering into a field that has so much more impact than you realize. If you ever doubt the impact that you're having, stop and talk to somebody who's been in the field for years. We will tell you the stories of the students that have come back to us and said, "You changed my life." Or in some cases, "You saved my life." Never underestimate that. Thank you. So at this time, I would like to invite Dawn Sommerfeld and scholarship awardee Hannah Ferris to come to the front.
Thank you very much. My mother started teaching in a one-room school in Bull Flat, North Dakota. You will not find it on the map anywhere. But it shows what you can do as an 18-year-old going out, teaching every level of class, and having one of your own sisters as a classmate. My family has been deeply involved in education. My mother was a teacher. My father's a superintendent of school here in Bozeman. My sister was a teacher, and in her honor, her husband created the Carol Nelson Scholarship when my sister passed away early from cancer. I have sister, mother, father. Myself, I taught school, two years at Missoula Hellgate. I have sister-in-laws. My wife's mother was a teacher. I will tell you that you do, without a doubt, make a future for thousands, not just hundreds, thousands of students. You touch the future. So please go out, be positive, make a change. And to the donors that are here, thank you from the bottom of my Bobcat heart to each and every one of you. My brother created a medal that I'm happy to award to Hannah. And basically it's the Sommerfeld Teacher Promise Award. It says, touch tomorrow, teach. Touch tomorrow, teach.
As we hear from donors, it's also really important that we hear from students who are some of these scholarship recipients from this most recent gifting season. And so I'd like to bring up Chimge Sharaf and Miracle Munga, who will share a few words about their experience and what receiving these scholarships mean to them. Chimge?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Miracle. I'm a graduate student in the Department of Education, and I'm excited to let you know that I'm one of the recipients of the CAD scholarship. The scholarship means a lot to me as a graduate student because we normally go through struggles, financial struggles at times. And so receiving a scholarship like this one is very important to me. So, for example, it has helped me to pay my university fees. It has also helped me to get some textbooks that I need for my academic program. It has also helped me to get to buy software that I needed to analyze my research for my thesis. So that really means a lot to me. And it doesn't just end there. When I finally get my degree, I am looking forward to making contributions to the community, because having received a scholarship like this one makes me feel a sense of responsibility, giving back to the community in whatever way that I can, either through teaching or through maybe engaging with faculty to collaborate and perform research that helps to advance knowledge in education, and many other ways. And even when I get the degree, and I go out there and begin to work, I look forward to contributing to the community. So I really thank you, the donors, for making this possible. I'm just saying thank you so much. And please continue to provide these scholarships for other students, because I understand I might not be the only one in this situation. There are a lot of other students who benefit greatly from these scholarships, and they'll go on and make an impact to the society. So thank you very much.
Well, I feel a little bit nervous. My name is EHHD. I go by Chingye. I'm from Mongolia. I came to Montana to pursue my graduate degree, and I am a first-generation student in my family, and I'm currently in doctoral program in curriculum and instruction in education department. So I'm one of the nearly 200 students who got awarded this great opportunity. And I'm so thankful to all the donors, MSU faculty, staff, mentors, peers, students, help build this great, wonderful, and supportive community at MSU. I'm happy to share that shared an exciting news. For me, it's a very exciting news. 3 of my research presentations were recently accepted at 3 different conferences, and without it wouldn't be possible without your generous donations to students and your hard work, for MSU faculty's hard work in organizing, providing, coordinating, and providing opportunities for us, and connecting formally and informally to scholarship donors and to other educators, peers, and mentors. I'm so thankful and grateful for my wonderful community. And at this time, next Saturday, I will be presenting my first research presentation at the Intermountain TESOL conference in Salt Lake City. It wouldn't have been possible to present it at the different conferences in different states, because conferences are always associated with expenses. I'm so thankful about this opportunity, and thanks to everyone who contributed and who helped build this wonderful community at MSU. I believe student success. I'm the recipient of Flora Martin Student Success Scholarship. I believe student success always relies on support and assistance from the community. And because student success is a combined efforts of faculty, mentors, students, more importantly, our generous donors. And lastly, I want to extend my gratitude and thank you so much for all of your hard work, and thanks so much making this opportunity and make this happen to nearly 200 students. And thanks for supporting students like me in pursuing educational degrees. Thank you so much.
You know, events like this don't just happen. And so as we close out today, I really want to first thank Becky Stanton, who really was the brains behind this event and was so instrumental in all of the coordination, and the assistance that was provided by Kristen Music. Thank you, Kristen, for all of the preparation of the slide deck as well as taking photos. Also want to thank and acknowledge Bill Fries, who is getting ready to be honored in a milestone of serving MSU for 40 years, if we can give him a minute. Thank you to Joe Hicks, who is our assistant dean in the college, Kate Kaminsky, who is our senior assistant dean and who I'm not at the moment seeing. Thank you, Kate. Who are part of the dean's team in the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. Thank you for all of your support today. For Deb Redburn, who as an advisory council member helped check folks in. Thank you, Deb. You know, I reflect on the fact that 30 years ago this fall, I sat at my own scholarship breakfast kind of event with Harriet Rust, who had the Rust Fellowship where I went to school. And I still remember going to tea with her. I didn't have any idea what it meant to go to tea. But it was small little sandwiches and tea in cups, and we visited, and she took great interest in what I wanted to do. And I still remember that 30 years on. And so please know, donors, friends, you are making such an impact on these students. Scholars, students, you will pay it forward. I know you will, because that's the Bobcat way. You don't keep it, you give it. And in this college, like very much none other, we give and pay forward. And so I just want to close out by thanking you all for coming today, for being a part of this family and for this college, because our future really is so bright that there is a solar eclipse coming. And Becky, if I may, what's the next plan?
The next plan. What time is it? It is 10. Okay, so it is 10:03. The solar eclipse peaks at 10:28. So feel free to grab some more food if you need, some more coffee, some more drinks, and hang out. There is eclipse glasses for everyone. They are on the bench on your way out the door. So if you want to make your way out there at some point before 10:28, you can grab your glasses and check out the eclipse.
Thank you so much for coming out. We couldn't have planned an eclipse better to show just how bright our future is. Thank you for being a part of it. Thanks for coming out.